Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Proverbs of Praise. Super excited for you to join us today. And so today I want to talk about faith. Faith. When you hear that word faith, what do you think of? So in Hebrews 11:1, the Bible defines faith as the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things unseen. So it's something that you really hope and desire for, but you don't see evidence of that manifesting in your life. And so, have you ever been in a situation where you really prayed for something, you hoped for something, and it seems like, Lord, did you hear me? Are you listening to me? Because, God, my current situation does not line up with what's going on and what I prayed for. So, the Merriam Webster definition just simply says that faith is the complete trust and hope into something or someone. And so when we apply that both with the biblical definition, but when we look at our relationship with Christ, right, it means that we have to completely trust in Him, right? Our complete hope and trust is in Him. And that even when the situation doesn't look like it, that you have to make a decision to so trust that eventually that your faith will cause that situation to align with the word that God gave you. And so I just want to talk a little bit about my faith journey and throughout this series share with you some big moments of faith that God has really showed up in my life in hopes to just encourage you. So the word reminds us that we're healed by the word of our testimony. And so today I'm just hoping to share with you a little bit about my testimony. I want to take us all the way back. For me, this was a pivotal. So just quickly about my relationship with Christ. Grew up in church all my life, going to church every Sunday. I think I really started to understand the personal relationship with Christ when I was in college. Super blessed to have amazing friends that were also believing, and so really unearthed my relationship with Christ and understood it on a different level during those years that I can vividly remember in middle school. I literally was woken up in the middle of the night. I remember going to the bathroom and in the mirror, I just remember hearing the Lord tell me, like, choose this day whom you will serve. And from that moment on, it didn't mean that I was like, okay, I'm repping Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. But I am saying that I made a conscious decision in that moment to choose the Lord. And it's been a battle ever since. And so bringing you back to college is what I wanted to bring you to, and a time where I think, as I shared, that was really when my personal relationship with Christ began to develop, and I really began to pray for things for real, like on my own, like be on my knees, be on my face. And so one of the first memories that I have of me that I personally asked Christ for intervention and believed Him for faith was when it came to finances. This was my sophomore year. Yeah, my sophomore year of college. Actually, no, it was after my freshman year. It was after my freshman year going into my sophomore year of college. So if y'all are familiar with the way that school works, at the end of every year, you register for your next, at the end of every semester, you register for the next semester's classes. So after my first year, y'all, I'm going to register classes, super excited. Had a great first year, a challenging first year, but a great first year of school, and then excited to go register for classes. And I have a hold on my account. And what that means basically is that when you have not paid tuition, when you have not paid the portion of school fees, the school will not let you register for the next semester's classes until those fees are completely taken care of. And so I was blessed to be able to have scholarships and take out some loans, federal loans and things like that for school, but there was still a portion of the tuition that I did have to come up with. And so at the time, my family was helping as much as they could, but the money was just not there. And so I had to register for classes. Again, I went to school across the country. So originally from California, went to school in DC. And so y'all, basically, I wasn't going to be able to come back if I did not register for classes. Also, school classes fill up, right? So there's not only the financial piece, but the time piece. Once those classes fill up, yes, you can get on the wait list, but you need certain classes to graduate, right? So that can even prolong your opportunity to graduate in a sufficient amount of time. So I'm setting the scene for you. At this point, I'm just like, oh my gosh. You know, and everyone's telling me you will not be able to register for classes until that full amount is paid. So I remember going distinctly to the financial aid office. Y'all, I'm running around to the financial aid office, to the student accounts office. I'm running back and forth, right, trying to talk to different people and see what I can do. And so I've talked to folks, and this is what they're telling me. Until that amount is paid, ma'am, we cannot take the hold off your account. This is thousands of dollars at this point, y'all. And who has that just to give? Not I. Not I, okay, nor my family, okay? So I'm like, okay, Lord. I remember distinctly that night just praying like, God, I just need a miracle. I need a breakthrough. I God, I don't know what to do at this point. I've come all of this way. I've come across the country to be able to participate in this great program and this opportunity. And yet, God, I'm stuck here. How could you bring me this close, God, and just leave me like this? And I remember just praying, and literally I went to sleep. I woke up and God had given me a plan in my sleep. In my dreams, literally, I woke up and God, I began to write out the plan. I knew exactly how much that I worked at the time as well. And so I knew how much I physically was going to be able to give. And then I knew how much to go ask my parents for, my mom for, my dad for. We were able to come up with this amount. And then I told them, you know what, I have this amount today. And then I can pay in installments throughout the next couple months this amount of money. I was also going to be working that summer. And so God was just like, go to the accounts office and tell them this is your plan. I did that. I called my parents first. And then like, hey, you know, this is how much I need from you. Like, can you do this? I'm blessed to have them on my side and their support. I was able to do that. Went to the accounts office and they're like, okay. I remember distinctly Miss Lynn is the name of the lady in the accounts office. That was my girl. She always had my back. Went to her, she was like, okay, I will take the hold off of your account for 24 hours. As I submitted that check to her, and I was able to register for my classes, y'all. I was able to register with no issues. The hold was put back on 24 hours later, but it didn't matter because I did what I needed to do and was able to pay those installments after. And so from that, just learning, one, God will give you exactly what you need, right? Although I didn't have the entire amount that I needed, I had exactly what I needed to get my goal done, which was register for my classes. And in the meantime, God provided throughout that those next couple months the money that I needed for everything to be sufficient. And so I'm super glad and blessed that he was able to provide in that way, and just trusting in him. Like, I had no other move. I had nothing else to depend on, and I had nothing to do on my own. On my physical strength I had was depleted, right? And so being able to trust in the Lord. And so from that, as I kind of tie this back into faith, and as I kind of tie that back into current situation and what the faith walk may look like for many of you, and I can speak for myself now, that faith journey, God continues to grow you. As you grow in relationship with him, that faith journey changes as well. And what that means is that you begin to, God stretches you in new ways. So things that may have come easy for you at one time may take a little more time to come, and God is just showing you how to continue to trust in him as he begins to do greater and grander things in your life. And so while some tools and keys that I've employed throughout my faith journey is, one, prayer. Prayer is paramount. Prayer, as I said, was the key for me to be able to go and take hold of the promise that God had given me. Prayer, of course, number one. Also declaring, yes, by the power of Christ, that he died on the cross for our sins, as children of God, we are able to access that strength that he has. And so that means that, but it's not just like, okay, because I'm a child of God, great, it's going to happen for me. You have to call those things as though they are. And so that means you're declaring over them. You're saying, like, God, you said in your word that I'm the head. I'm about to tell you, you said that you had a great purpose and plan for me. So I'm expecting, and I'm grateful, and I'm excited about what you're going to do. And so just trusting and declaring also what God has already said will be yours. Another key is being able to fasting. Definitely. Like, when you're in those moments, y'all, when it's life or death, to be able to really fasting, it allows you to hear the voice of God clear, right? A lot of distractions are at bay, and you're really able to get in tune with God. And I do want to be clear that when you're employing these different keys, it doesn't mean that you're twisting the hand of God to do what you're asking him to do, no. But you're really getting in tune to hear what he's saying. What is he saying about this situation, and how is he leading and guiding me? All of these are opportunities for you to deepen your relationship and really hear from the Lord. And lastly, I just want to talk about grace. The grace of God is so good. we do things and we receive things undeserving many times. But the grace of God allows us to be able to partake in so many of the blessings that God has for us. And so I just want to end by encouraging you today that if you believe in God for something, I believe that we all have something on our hearts that we're believing God, or we're praying about something, we've asked God for an answer and we haven't heard yet. I want to remind you that, again, faith is the evidence. It's the hope in something that you cannot see. And so it's exciting to be able to exercise our faith, even though it doesn't feel good. And I want to also remind you that how God chooses to answer the prayer is up to Him. And so although it may not look like the promise or the way that we thought that it would be, I assure you that it will be above and beyond anything we could think or imagine, and that God will surely answer the promise in the way that He sees fit. So in this series, my hope is to continue to share with you some of the faith moves that I've had to make and some of the beautiful things that God has done in my life. And so I cannot wait to continue. There are many, many stories I can share. Can't wait to continue to share those with you. And I hope that below you can share with some other people some things that God has done for you and how He showed up for you when no one or nothing else could. Be blessed. Whenever you're watching this, have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace out.